Example 3 brings us to an end for this section, 3.5 part 2, or day 2. Factor x squared plus 3x minus 18y squared. Now, the double variable thing tends to throw students for a little bit of a loop. X squared at the front, y squared at the end, xy in the middle. Remember that if we were factoring, if we had just had the x squared in there, when we were factoring this, we would end up with that x variable in the front. Well, now we have a variable in the back, so we simply stick that variable in the back. And the reason we can do that is because that is squared and this y term is squared here as well. If those aren't squareds or multiples of 2, then this isn't going to work. Okay, so you need to make sure that that you remember that, because if this was a cubed, then we couldn't factor that. We'd be done. There's nothing we can do. Okay, so we know that our end form of our factored polynomial is going to look something like, something like this. We just need to figure out what signs, positive or negative, go in here, and what coefficients go in front of the y. So let's have a look at that. X squared plus 3x minus 18y squared. So what we're looking for, two numbers that multiply together to give negative 18. Those same two numbers add together to give 3. Very long pauses in there on purpose, just to make sure that if you're following along, you're trying to figure it out as we go along. So two numbers that multiply to give negative 18, add to give positive 3. I start to think about what my factors of 18 are. Well, 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6, and that's about it. Well, 1 and 18 aren't possibly going to be able to add together to give me 3. So it can't be 1 and 18. 2 and 9 also can't possibly add together in any way, shape, or form to give me 3. So it can't be 2 and 9. Sorry, I said 2 and 9. I meant 1 and 18, or 2 and 9. So now I'm just left with, well, it's got to be some combination of 3 and 6. I know that one of them has to be negative because I have a negative 18 value here. And I know that my final addition answer has to be positive. So the bigger one has to be the positive value. So positive 6, negative 3. Let's see if it works. Negative 3, positive 6. Negative 3 times positive 6 is negative 18. Negative 3 plus positive 6 is a positive 3. So those are my two integers. Now I can go back to my binomial bracket with my x, my y at the end. I know that my first integer is minus 3 minus 3y, and my second one is plus 6y. Does it matter which order? X plus 6y or x minus 3y? Does it matter which order? Absolutely not. Either or is absolutely correct. Just make sure that as you're checking and working through answers that you have that combination in that binomial and this binomial. It doesn't matter which one's first. So you just need to make sure that that's correct. Lots of practice questions. I'm probably going to have a few handouts for you. We're going to do lots of this because we need to make sure that we really understand this before we can move on. So please, 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 please take the time. Do lots of practice. The only way you can get better at faster doing these things is to do all of that practice. Okay, so we'll see you in class.